quite a journey. Okay, so to be intentional, to be intimate, apart from being intentional, the second thing we need to do, which stands for N, is to meet each other's needs. You need to meet each other's needs. So N stands for needs. One of the things I found out is that we're responsive to the people that give to us. And it may not be easy at first, but it's something, remember, we're talking about intentionality as well. So it's something that you need to be intentional about. And when I say meet needs, I'm not just talking about things that are physical needs. All kinds of needs, emotional needs. Sometimes your partner needs a hug. You may be, something interesting happened last weekend. We ministered at a church in Dallas. And so they were playing a game and they had couples on stage. And so they put the women on this side and the men on this side. And they asked the men, when your wives want to relax, what guilty pleasure do they want? And the first man wrote, massage, day at the spa. And they asked his wife, she said, chocolate. The second man, they asked him, I think he said something about shopping or something like that. And they asked the wife, she said crisps, just chips, a bag of chips. They asked the third man, he said a vacation in Bali or something. He said something like that. And she said, what did she say? I can't even remember. It was something so silly. Ice cream. She said ice cream. And then it occurred to me that one of the reasons why we're always complaining about needs not being met in marriage is because we're not speaking the same language. Half the time, men have big dreams and they always want to do this grand thing. So they don't remember your birthday because they're planning something they will do at the 20th anniversary. And this is your second year in marriage. So the woman is frustrated and the man is thinking, I have a plan for our 20th. I'm going to buy her a house. And she just wants you to buy her ice cream, a tiny tub of ice cream. That's all she needs. So a lot of times people are complaining about, I'm doing everything. She's not. It's because you're not speaking her love language. For you to be able to meet someone's need, you must speak their love language. You must be speaking what they can understand. So if you're saying to someone in French, I love you, and the person only speaks German, no matter how many times you say it, you're not going to communicate correctly to that person. So it's the same thing. If your partner likes quality time and you're always buying gifts, you will think your partner is ungrateful, but you're not meeting their needs. I'll give you an example. So one of my love languages is quality time. I came to Houston to have my son. Was it David? Yeah, came to have my son. So of course, all of you in America know that you need a car to move around. If not, you're going to be frustrated here. It's not like Nigeria or anywhere else. No, before Uber, of course. And so when Pastor K brought me here, dropped me off with the girls, I was going to have David, my son, the last one. So he dropped me off, and the day before he left back to Nigeria, so he just came drop me and he would leave me here for a few months, that kind of thing. So he just disappeared early in the morning and didn't come back till about 4 p.m. And he drove in with this car, brand new SUV, lovely, was a Ford? Something. He drove in with the car, came into the house so excited. Honey, come outside. Girls, come outside. So my daughters followed me outside with my big tummy, rolled myself outside, got there, and it was like, ta-da! And I just stood there looking at the car, looking at him. He said, this is your car. I said, okay. He said, what do you mean, okay? I left since morning. I went to look for the perfect car for you. He just went on and on, and I was just looking at him. I said, okay. He said, you didn't even say thank you. I said, thank you. So I went inside. Once you collect the key, I said, thank you. He gave me the key. I went inside. So he followed me. You didn't even drive the car. So my girls were like, drive the car. I said, okay, let's go. Went outside, drove it around the estate where we were staying, came back to the house, dropped the key, went into the house. And so he couldn't take it anymore. So like about an hour later, he had been sulking. I didn't even know he was sulking because I was sulking. So he came to meet me that, there are things I do that makes me feel like you're ungrateful. I said, ungrateful? He said, yes, I just bought you a car. I said, do you know, you're leaving tomorrow. And I'm just thinking, you could have spent the day with me. And you left me here all day. And you came back with a car. Now, men will never understand what I just said now. Because they are thinking, so if I spend time with you, how will you be moving around when I go? Because men are problem solvers, right? But a woman will first, men will think from their logic, a woman will first think emotionally. So after he hugged me and said, oh no, he didn't, oh no, now it was because of you I'm doing it for. Yeah, they immediately, I now understood that, man, if this guy goes, I can't be dragging about for my doctor's appointments. So I was grateful for the car. But you see, because he wasn't speaking my language at the time, I didn't feel like he was meeting my need. He was meeting my need. He was screaming, I love you, but in a different language. So when it comes to meeting needs, you must be speaking the same language. Some of us are also dealing with a lot of trauma. Let me explain. There are certain things we need to unlearn in our marriage. Now, growing up, for instance, I'll give you an example myself. Growing up, we had things like, I don't know about the rest of you here, but we had things like the way to a man's heart is through his belly. We had things like that, and we were trained, at least in my family, we're trained to, you must, when you want to serve your husband, you must cook for him, or you don't want to cook his meals, and there's a place for all of that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when I got married, I thought that if I was doing everything my mother said to do, which was to prepare his meals, serve him, pick out his clothes, do those kind of things, that I was meeting his need. Now, it was getting a bit frustrating for me because I was literally working myself to the bone, and I didn't feel like my husband was appreciating it. And one day he said to me, if you die, I'm going to be very upset with you.
Yes, I'll kill you.
Yes. He said, I was trying to be gentle. That's why he said like that. If you die, I will kill you. Because I know what I went through to find you. I said, you're just working yourself to the bone. And I don't care about these things. Anybody can cook my food. What I need you for is the companionship. I need your brain. I need to be able to talk to you and say, I have this dream, and you break it down with your gift of administration. Not that you are cooking rice. Anyone can make rice. And there I was stressing myself, killing myself, making sure nobody else makes his meals, making sure nobody else does anything for him. When what he really needed was somebody who to discuss ministry with. To sit down and say, we need to do this. And I'll say, oh, that's easy. Just break it down. I'll just do a few meetings. I'll employ this person. I'll fix this person, create this team. And that is not stressful for me because it's a gift. But I was doing the things, cooking, wake up early in the morning, 4 a.m., cook, do this. And it wasn't making any difference. So it's important that you are meeting each other's needs. But what's more important, that you know what the needs are. And so I'm going to give you 1 minute to talk to each other and find out, am I meeting your needs? And are they the needs that I think they are?
And you can write, also tell them the 3 top needs you have.
Yes.
So that just in case they've forgotten, they will have a fresh note now. And let me just tell you for free, a lot of times your spouse's needs will not make sense to you. That's why some of us are not meeting the needs, because we don't just think this can't be what you really need. But it's not up to you to determine what your partner needs. Whatever they say is important to them, try to meet that need. So please, let's do that. Talk to your partner. So what is a major need for you? Am I meeting all your needs? Is there a need I'm not showing up for? Please have that conversation. It's a practical session.
"27 seconds more." Feels like we're doing an exam. "5 seconds more."
All right. Okay, so I believe you're writing these things down. That way you can work on it together later. You can also review your notes. So number 1, we said, is intentional. Number 2, needs, meeting each other's needs. People generally fall in love with people that meet their needs. Very important. We all develop a soft spot for someone that is meeting our needs. So please, it's important you are meeting the core needs of your partner. It's important you are the person meeting that needs. Most affairs start because somebody gives room for another person to meet a need. Number